Hi, YouTube. Good evening. Just gonna try to get on Facebook here. It's acting a little silly this evening. Hold on one second. Okay, there we go. All right, so we have YouTube Live and we have Facebook Live. Sorry, Facebook was acting a little wonky for me this evening, but thank you for joining this evening on Monday. It is November the 16th and it is 5:30. So this is our typical standing meeting time, but last week was not a typical week and we met on Thursday. So it has not been that much time that has transpired since the last time that we have connected, but it is nice to be able to have the opportunity to connect. I have a few updates, and then, of course, we'll open things up for questions if you have any as we move forward, okay? So really no change in anything related to our level of status since the last time that we connected on Thursday. Our junior high school and high school do remain on the red level of our plan. And so that means that all of our students are 100% remote. Our preschool through grade 6 students do remain on the green level of the plan. Just to give you a little bit of an update, today, you know that we do use the percentage of students with symptoms of COVID-19 as one of our primary indicators. In fact, it's been our primary indicator. We're actually in the process of thinking about other indicators to be used for our daily tracking of student cases, student symptoms. But the percentage of symptoms in our buildings right now, the 4 that are in person, the average is like 1.8% for the 4 buildings that we have that are presenting with symptoms of COVID-19. The worst building is at 4%, which is still not terrible. You know, we're looking at transitioning to the yellow level of the plan at this point at like 10%. So 4% is the worst, and then we have a building who's even shown up with 0% of our students that are out right now with symptoms of COVID-19. So for now, things are going great, and for our 4 schools that are on the green level of the plan. But I say that, and I want to really take a moment to emphasize the fact that this is a changing scenario. I'm sure you have been connected with news across the state of Indiana, with news certainly across our nation and the world. And COVID-19 really does seem to be it's having, let's just say this, it's having a moment right now, right? That is, we are definitely concerned about data points that we are seeing, and we are reviewing those data points all the time to make sure that we have the most accurate information so that we can make the best decisions for school for the next day. I think that the program that we are offering now is the very best one based on the data that we have today. But I do want to say that these moments are changing, right? And so we are on green right now for preschool through 6. We certainly hope that we will be able to remain on green for preschool through 6. And we are going to do everything that we can to make sure that we remain on green for preschool through 6. But as data points change, and as if we get feedback and information that is something that informs that something else needs to happen, we'll need to do that, right? And we will give you the information that we have when we have it so that we can really try to shift and adjust in a way that is one that is meaningful and makes sense to you all. I want to say that we really do appreciate how the Brown County Health Department, Brown County Emergency Management has been working with us over these last few days. I think I mentioned last Thursday night that we had a great meeting on Thursday to get kind of caught up together on where we are with county metrics and then with school metrics. And we have another meeting scheduled for Wednesday. And then Health Department has visited our school several times since that meeting, even on Thursday, which we really appreciate. So they're being great partners with us as we move forward. And we're really trying to best understand county metrics, they are understanding school metrics so that we can offer to you all the best, safest option and program for our school community. So really appreciate their efforts with that. We are meeting on Wednesday. A couple of the metrics that are important for us to get feedback from our health professionals on our symptom tracking, kind of evaluating our green, yellow, and red plans to make sure that the plans that we are providing are the right ones. And we're gonna sit down, and we really appreciate their commitment to sitting down with us to spend the amount of time that it needs for us to ensure that we are first off offering you all a plan that makes sense and is accurate for right now. I think we are really pleased and proud to say that our plan really worked for us from August the 5th until, just a few weeks ago. And in fact, I think we would argue that the plan is still working and it's working well, but we also have new data points that are coming in, and these data points are really important for us to evaluate and to better understand. And that's why you have a health department, and that's why you have a school district, so that we can then put our heads together to make sure that the plan that we're offering to our community is the best one. And so that's what we're looking forward to doing on Wednesday. I think that is truly all of the updates that I had as far as, sort of COVID-19, just reviewing our current status, and then just committing to you all that if anything changes, that I will communicate that change to you, and that we will try to unpack any new information and data every time that it comes in, review it, distill it, and then analyze it so that we can then present it back to you all in a way that makes sense. Just a couple of updates about services and things that we are able to provide, even though junior high school and high school are 100% remote. Tonight, so until 6 o'clock tonight, so we're still rolling from 4:30 until 6, we do have food distribution that's happening at the high school, Helmsburg, Van Buren, and Spernica. So if you are on remote as a junior high or high school student, or if you are K-6 remote because that is what your family has chosen to do, then you are able on Mondays to go to the schools to pick up 5 days worth of meals. And that's 5 breakfasts, you hear the plural on that, 5 lunches, and 5 dinners. So for each student, you'll be able to walk away with 15 meals on a Monday. And those meals should then be able to allow for that student to get through the week. And we have other resources that are available as well to help to fill in those gaps. So on Wednesday night, same time frame, so from 4:30 till 6, we have the next pop-up pantry happening, and that one is happening at the Bill Monroe Music Park. So from 4:30 till 6 this Wednesday at Bill Monroe, at the campground, that's where our next pop-up pantry is going to take place. So come out and see that incredible program and all of those great volunteers that make the drive-through pop-up pantries happen, this time at the Bill Monroe campground. Additionally, I wanted to make mention and remind folks that Mother's Cupboard, that actually the community Thanksgiving will be taking place out of Mother's Cupboard on Thanksgiving Day. We sent out through Parent Square end of last week an update on that event. So just remember that is a wonderful gift that the community gives back to folks in need. And it is a drive-through Thanksgiving dinner this year on Thanksgiving Day. And so many thanks to all the organizations. I think the Brown County YMCA takes the lead on this with lots of other partners. Mother's Cupboard is the host site this year, and it'll be a drive-through event, and really looking forward to that. I want to also mention, and this is concerning information that was shared with us not too long ago, that we wanted to get out to all of you in the hopes that we could fill a need. Mother's Cupboard is having a hard time filling all of their volunteer spaces. So they're actively searching for volunteers to be able to help out during this difficult time. We do know that there are lots of volunteers that would typically be working right now, right? But they might be in a compromised immune situation. They might be in those at-risk categories. So it's really incumbent upon those of us that are able to right now, that might not fit into immune compromised, might not fit into an age category or another category that is one that would be at risk. So we're really the ones that really should be stepping up right now to help to volunteer. So if you are interested in volunteering during this very critical time, please reach out to Mother's Cupboard. Chef Sherry, she organizes all of the volunteers. She organizes everything. She's amazing over there at Mother's Cupboard. So their number is 812-929-9211. And you can reach out there, and hopefully we can flood Mother's Cupboard with enough volunteers to be able to make it through this really tough season of COVID-19. I try to volunteer there once a month on Mondays. I'm a member of the Rotary Club, and that's what we do. And it is amazing how COVID friendly they have everything arranged. So meals are distributed through the window. So even if you're a volunteer, you don't need to be worried about 6 feet social distancing or anything like that. It's a very, very safe experience. I'm very impressed with what Mother's Cupboard is able to be doing during this really difficult time. So sorry, just a little plug there for Mother's Cupboard. And lastly, let's talk about the internet. So we certainly understand, and we've been hearing that for junior high school students that do not have the internet or access to high-speed internet in the home, a lot of us have access to apps on our smartphones, but there's only so much data, right, that some families are able to have access to. So we've really wanted to construct a program that will allow for students to be able to still access the internet, to be able to get their assignments and to engage in their online instruction. So we tried on Saturday, like a Saturday internet event from noon until 5. It was actually my honor to be able to be at the high school to welcome junior high school remote students to that space from noon until 5. And we didn't get the turnout that we were hoping for. We had 2 students show up during that 5-hour period of time, which is fine. I got a lot of work done, and there were 2 delightful students that I really enjoyed seeing. So it certainly wasn't a waste of time, but it clearly didn't connect for our families. So we're kind of trying to find the sweet spots for what times are going to work for our buildings to be open. So right now, the high school, and all of this has been approved by our health department, so just know that. The high school is open from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. Monday, Tuesday of this week. We're evaluating if those later times are connecting for families or if it's just not a useful time. So we've readjusted the work assignments for some of our employees, and we don't, it's harder to work later, right? But they're willing to do it for us, which we're so grateful for. But we just want to make sure that we're putting out times that connect for our families. So for now, the high school, 8 a.m. to 8 p.m., and the junior high school, 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. And we're doing that through this week. High school is evaluating whether or not they're going to continue with the later hours once they see what kind of connection we're seeing. But at least through this week, beginning of next, we will definitely be open through the day, and we're going to then reevaluate what kind of evening hours are needed and what kind of Saturday or Sunday hours are needed. This Saturday clearly wasn't a hit. I'm not sure if it was the person that was teaching or if it just was a bad time, but it was a rainy, kind of cold and yucky day. So I felt like maybe we would see more, but we just didn't. So again, this is a work in progress, and we're just committed to better understanding what best fits our community as far as internet needs. But just know that we're really trying to figure it out. Okay. So that's internet. So I can answer any questions about that in the Q&A, which we're going to head into right now. So I'm going to jump over to YouTube to see if there is anything going on there. No. So I'm going to start my scrolling and see if you have any questions for me tonight. just always have to laugh when I see my dad's name on here. So, hi, Dad. You don't need to watch this. This is my work. So, I'm 47 years old, everyone, and my dad is watching. It just cracks me up. Okay. So, if all goes well, would the high and junior high school move to yellow or green on the 29th? So, that is our goal. Absolutely. We are sort of all thoughts towards having some sort of reentry after Thanksgiving. We need to depend on our local partners with our health department to better understand other county, other state metrics. And we are really hopeful that we can better understand, learn that when we connect on Wednesday. And we're also just honoring and understanding the fact that numbers are very strange right now. And I think all of us are quite worried about Thanksgiving. I just mentioned that my dad is watching. And we were really looking forward to getting together as a family over Thanksgiving. And we had to cancel those plans. And it's really, it makes me so sad to even talk about it, right? Because we were so looking forward to that. But this just isn't the year for us to be able to get together. And it makes all of us really sad. But even though we're deeply disappointed, it's the right thing to do. And so we don't know what Thanksgiving is going to do. We have some, we think, pretty innovative plans to be able to get us back after Thanksgiving, and potentially in a way that is a little bit even more responsive to our data points. So it might be, well, at this point, that's what all of our thoughts and sort of energy is focused towards, is what we can look like post-Thanksgiving. And I didn't mean to go on the tangent about Thanksgiving there, but we are worried about what is going to happen when there is more mingling than might normally happen, right, on just a typical day. Anyone mention Helmsburg is out of food for the pickup tonight? Oh my goodness, that's the first that I have heard of that. So we put out a survey for folks who would be interested in participating in the outreach of meals tonight. And I know that Don and his team were using that survey to sort of best understand what to prepare for. So I am so sorry to hear it. Sounds like we didn't have enough at Helmsburg, but we will certainly take that data and we'll do better on Monday. Know that certainly I'm sure that we can work with the Helmsburg team to try to coordinate maybe another pickup this week. And then also we've got that pop-up pantry on Wednesday. But thank you for sharing that. I will certainly follow up with Mr. Heimer tomorrow about food pickup at Helmsburg. I'm really sorry about that. Okay, so we picked up a food bundle for my 9th grader this evening at Spernica. So there was no line and it was easy. So I'm glad to hear that the experience was a good one at Spernica. We'll get it. We'll get it. We'll get it. Not Helmsburg. Sorry, I'm going to go back to the comment because I must have misread that. Anyone mentioned Helmsburg is out of food for the pickup tonight? And then it says not Helmsburg. So sorry, clearly I need to follow up with food service to better understand what's going on with food distribution there. And the question says, why don't you just shut down the school for the rest of the year? Your plan is working, I think not. Okay, got it. Helmsburg is out. What do we do now? So we're going to talk with food service there, and we're going to try to figure out if we can't do maybe another distribution after school sometime this week. So the question says, so will you let us know about it until Wednesday if we can't stay in school? So Wednesday of this week, we have a meeting with the health department. Our plan is that the junior high and high school will be on red through Thanksgiving. We do not know what the plan is for the junior high and high school post Thanksgiving. Our plan right now is that kindergarten, preschool through 6th grade are on green until Thanksgiving, unless something happens that informs that we need to be able to do something different. Okay. Question is about if the county goes to red, how will that affect the K-6 students who are still going to school in person? So that's a very good question, and the answer to it is that I don't know. That'll certainly be a topic of conversation for us with the health department on Wednesday. If the county moves to red, then there are indications that the Indiana State Health Department has put into place for consideration for the red level. That is it's a partnership with the Brown County Health Department for us to better understand what that change in the county designation means for the school's plan. We've not been red before, so better understanding what that means for the school experience, for in particular our preschool through grade 6 students, if Brown County were to go to red. Great question. Okay, good. So they did at Helmsburg, they took your name and you have to pick up tomorrow. Okay, so sorry that you have to return to come back, but I'm so glad that you'll be taken care of. So, yeah, Katie Lane, thank you. It is absolutely the decision to make a change in the status of our school district is a collaborative one, right? So our board is ultimately responsible for the governance of our organization, and that's what Katie is indicating there. And the Brown County Health Department is a fundamental partner, emergency management as well, with the understanding of what that plan needs to be, right? So that's where we are right now, and I'm just really pleased to share with you all that we are in a situation of collaboration and commitment to conversation ongoing, so that we can better understand how county metrics and school metrics knit together and ultimately are able to offer the safest possible environment for our community. So there's an indication that a daughter was near 2 students that were sent home quarantined, and you haven't been contact notified. So our corporation nurse and our contact tracer have done all of the contact tracing that has been indicated. The definition for a close contact is it is specific. So it indicates that you are a close contact of another of someone who is tested positive if you have been within 6 feet of that individual for 15 minutes or more. And that definition then is ultimately tracked throughout the school day. So our corporation nurse, our contact tracer, and our school administrators work through the school days of every student in order to make sure that the appropriate list of close contacts are identified. An important piece to this: if you ever have a child who feels like they are a close contact to someone but have not been identified as such, then it is absolutely a responsible decision to keep your child home during what would typically be their period of quarantine. In this time of being very, very cautious to ensure that all students and staff are safe, if you are symptomatic, if you believe that you're a close contact to someone, our encouragement, our advice to everyone is to make sure that you always go to the most sincere option. And that is always the one that is going to be the most conservative. So if you're thoughtful or asking yourself, I kind of feel sick today. Should I go to work? No. If you're also feeling that way and you're thinking about, should I go to school? The answer is no. And if you're thinking, well, gosh, I really think that I'm a close contact, but I haven't been identified as such, then stay home, call the schools, and we can talk through it. We just really, really, really want folks to be super careful with this. And it's so important to help to stop the spread. Question: if the county goes to red, does that mean anything, or is the percentage still based on the school's numbers? Yeah, so I think I answered that a little bit before, but just to double clarify, what we are doing on Wednesday is talking about our school metrics, talking about any color status changes in the county plan, making sure that we are all on the same page so that the plan that we can offer to our community is the best one. Okay, I think some of these are in response to questions before. Here's a new one. If those two are quarantined as close contacts, your daughter doesn't need to quarantine. If those two end up positive, they will let you know what to do. Okay, so here's what we should probably do here. Anytime that there is a question about close contacts or positive cases, or if you just have any question, just call the school, please. We will. These are people that are extraordinary at this work, way beyond me. Our corporation nurse, our contact tracers are trained and are highly skilled in identifying what needs to happen next. So we are doing personal contact tracing. So it's not that you're getting a text message or anything like that. Everyone is getting a phone call and is advised about what the next step should be. So please, if you have any questions, just reach out to the school and we'll be happy to help with whatever that question is. Great. So I have some feedback that the Verizon hotspot that the school distributed was working perfectly. That is so great to hear. Thank you for that feedback. I'm going to pass any feedback like that on to our partners that gave us the resources to be able to make that happen. So thank you. Why is C4 still going when cases are so high? So for now, BCSC, who is on Bartholomew Consolidated School Corporation, Columbus Schools, they are on a red level to their plan. They are 100% remote for all of their students, and their C4 students are able to attend in person. Our health department really thought through C4 and how C4 translates with the high school. And because of the processes that are going on at C4 and the commitment that we have regarding sanitizing our buses that transport our C4 students back and forth, those C4 students were approved to be able to attend that program. Question says, if we close the schools due to cases, then how are we able to open the schools for them to come in for the internet? Great question. So what we have established with the health department is an extremely socially distanced setup at both our junior high school and our high school. So 6 feet, of course, is the rule for contact tracing for social distancing definition. So we have taken the cafeteria, the space outside of the cafeteria in the high school. Junior high has taken their cafeteria gymnasium space and they have mapped it out. They have measured everything, and there is more than 6 feet of social distance indicated for each seat that is available at the junior high and high school. It is a controlled environment, so students only enter one door, and there is hand sanitizer upon entry and upon leaving. So lots of protocols that are in place there, and we have a protocol for mapping where students are seated, how many students are in a location at one period of time, and those adults are all managing all of that information. So that's how we were able to receive approval from the health department to be able to have that happen, and really appreciate it. The health department even stopped by on Saturday to see how things were going, so that was really nice. Yeah, there's a clarification here by parent. That's correct. You will only be contacted if the close contact was positive. You will not be contacted if friends are quarantined unless they end up positive. That is correct. Okay. Sorry. My husband just also chimed in here. So it's a family affair this evening. By the way, Mr. Hammack and I are celebrating 20 years of marriage on Wednesday. How about that? Hi, honey. Okay. Aw. Oh, you guys are funny tonight. Okay. Getting to questions that are of substance here. Okay, there are some explanations here. Helmsburg remote learning food ran out within 40 minutes because everyone was getting for the household and not just the students that are out of school. Yeah, so one of the pieces there that, I know that Don was concerned about planning for with food distribution today is the fact that Helmsburg students, certainly, can be served from Helmsburg, but we also wanted to make sure that junior high and high school students were being served at Helmsburg. So it was hard to be able to gauge exactly how many meals we needed tonight. So we know now clearly that we need to have more at Helmsburg, and it sounds like they've already figured that out for how to get these meals to families tomorrow. So I'm super grateful for that. Okay, question. Junior high school was having difficulties connecting to some of his Zoom meetings. His audio and video weren't working. What do we need to do? So if it was just a random internet outage sort of situation, for example, we were having real trouble with the internet on Thursday randomly. So if you're okay tomorrow, just log back in and just share with the teacher, what the issues were. If you were if your student, sorry, it doesn't indicate, if your student could participate, could hear, then it is likely that the educator saw that your student was attending. But if you just couldn't engage at all, no problem. Try again tomorrow. And then if it doesn't work tomorrow, reach out to the junior high school and we'll talk about next steps. Okay, some good explanations going on here. Oh, okay, so that was a change. I'm sorry. Thank you, Mitzi. Mr. Garman says that the junior high is going to be open until 8 tonight and tomorrow. I was thinking that the junior high was only going to be open until 6, but it sounds like 8 o'clock tonight and tomorrow. Thank you for that. Thank you for your positive feedback. Thank you. Oh. Okay, here we go. Whole state is dealing with the rise of COVID cases. Doing the very best we can. Thank you for that. These are very crazy times. Thank you. Oh. Okay, so we have a student, a parent here who's indicating that their son is in C4, and you got a call today and was told he'd been exposed to a COVID positive student. We did in your parent square today. I think I got it out at about 4:30 today. We did have 2 students who were positive last week that we learned. Rephrase this. Today, we learned that 2 students tested positive for COVID. We learned about it today. They were in school last week. And so we did have some contact tracing to do today. So that might be what you're talking about today. Thank you. Thanks, Dan. Think about doing hybrid schooling, or would be less people in at school at the time. Yep, that's the yellow plan. So that is the sort of, we have a green plan, we have a yellow plan, and we have a red plan. And the yellow plan is that hybrid model. So that might be something that we are looking at post Thanksgiving for junior high and high. We're thinking about all sorts of options. We're thinking about, again, we just have to learn better what this data is informing and take that data and then look at what happens even over the next week. It's amazing in COVID world how a couple of weeks can really change the whole situation. Just thinking back to 2 weeks prior to where we are now, and then thinking about where we'll be 2 weeks from now. So we're trying to really explore all of the different potentials so that we can be prepared and give you the best possible outcome. This is one of our teachers responding to the fact that the student that we were talking about earlier that was having trouble with the internet. Oh, thank you for that, Mrs. Stark. Really appreciate you. Okay, great. Oh, well, happy anniversary to you. So that's it. I'm going to double check YouTube. Okay, yeah, we're good. So everyone, thank you for participating tonight. Just a little bit after 6, not too shabby this evening. Please, 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 if you are frustrated, if you are angry, if you are annoyed, if you have questions, if you are happy, whatever. Hopefully you know that by now you can reach out, call, email. You can always send messages through this platform. We really try to be quite available. My voicemail light is red right now, so I probably have a couple of messages. If I haven't called you back yet today, I will. Just know that we're here. We get it that you're nervous, you're frightened, you're anxious, you're afraid, or you might be showing up to this over it, ready to be back to normal. And, right? Like we've talked about this before, like we're all showing up to this thing on a very different space on the continuum. And no one's right or wrong, right? Like, there's those of us that are showing up that are just, we're all somewhere different. And really, the way I think to get through this is to just continue to offer love and light and encouragement, right, to each other, and celebrating the fact that while we might not be showing up to this at the same space, that's okay. And that in order for us to be able to move forward is that we just sort of see that each other has a different perspective on this thing. And I just have to believe that as we navigate these next couple of months, which look like they're going to be tough months, that if we can support, lift each other up, not tear each other down, that we'll be just so much better on the other side of it, right? So thank you for joining. Thanks for hanging in here. I do hope you have a wonderful evening, and I'll see you soon. Take good care. Honey, I'll be home in about a half hour. See ya. Bye-bye. All right. Bye, YouTube. Have a good evening. Okay, there we go. All right. So we have YouTube Live and we have